Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Triangle Season 3, Episode 30, and the name of this episode is Comeuppance, and this is the season finale. Man, was this a ride or what, y'all? This was a damn good Season 3. Yo, shout out to Season Williams and everyone in the Triangle family, cast and crew. You guys delivered, and from me to you, you guys did a great job. Like, honestly, this season was so amazing, and I love how the season finale was done because certain things found closure, but then there are also new developments going into season 4, and I can't wait for season 4. But man, what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to group this up the best way I can because I don't want to make this a long video. But if I do, bear with me. But yes, but before I get started, again, subscribe to drtbtv.com. I will have the link in the description box. And also check out the Triangle Fan Club on Facebook. You get everything Triangle, and you get everything BRTBTV is there as well. So, definitely, brtbtv.com and Triangle Fan Club. You get everything Triangle, and it's definitely the place to be. So definitely make that happen. Now, where do I begin? Because there was a lot that happened, and yeah. So pretty much what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start off how the way it began. We know from the previous episode that Julian pretty much pulled a stunt at this meeting with Baron Davenport's arch rival. I think his last name was Hamilton, but if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But we actually see that Jabril is sitting down with Baron after all of this has went down. Now remember, Julian has been hidden by Winston, so no one knows where Julian is. But Baron is crazy pissed. And he is reading Jabril for filth. He is like letting him know that I trusted you with this company, and you literally gave it to a fucking college kid and you pretty much relinquished your responsibilities as CEO. So now my arch rival has a piece of my dream. When I came here, from the islands, all I had was a passport and $200 in my pocket, and I used that and built something. I owned something, and I actually had an institution for my family, and you fucking ruined it. So pretty much Jabril was like, yeah, okay, this happened, but I take full responsibility for my part in it. But I did not think that Julian would have done that. And then of course Baron brought up the fact, well, Fallon would have caught on to his bullshit, and Jabril was like, well, you the one who outed Fallon. So what the hell was that? And he's like, yeah, and obviously you did some shit that Fallon would have never done. So Baron pretty much lets Jabril know that the board has voted him out as CEO, and he said if the board didn't do it, I would have fired you my damn self. I mean, because he's the main shareholder, so he can pull that kind of stunt if he really wanted to. But Jabril was like, you know what? Fuck this job, and the hell with this family. I should have stayed away from you guys from the beginning. And pretty much just the pure name of this episode is exactly what was going on. Karma. And Jabril is starting to see it. And also, while Baron is talking to him, Jabril really is just kind of being very passive because his mind is on what we saw in the last episode, Beguile, where Jabril has been shot by a hitman. But the hit was meant for Jabril, as we all know. Well, we get a scene with Jabril and Corinne. Corinne is mad as hell. She's pretty much saying that this is all your fault, Jabril. You were supposed to be protecting my son, and now my son could be dead, and I should have never let him move up here with you. I should have pulled him out of here as soon as I knew he got around you, because your family and you guys are just wicked, and you always bring bad to everything you touch. So Corinne is pretty much saying like, fuck you, Jabril, and she plans on moving Jarrell back home, you know, where he lives, you know, so pretty much moving him out of Easton altogether. So that pretty much happened. That what was going on in Jabril's mind while he's sitting there talking to Baron. So after him and Baron go back and forth about, you know, how he's disgraced his company and disgraced his legacy, and that, you know, Jabril just pretty much says, okay, well, it is what it is, you know, I'm done. And then Baron was like, hold on, I also want to let you know I got somebody on the case to find JJ. And then Jabril was like, nobody told you to do that. And he says, do I need your damn permission? You know, this is family. I want to find out if this kid is really yours, because I need someone to carry my legacy. Pretty much saying it ain't gonna be you, and it damn sure ain't gonna be Julian now. So he needs someone who's gonna carry his legacy. So we actually meet the beautiful Winter Black, and Winter Black is serving high heels at high noon, and she ain't taking shit from nobody. So she pretty much is the main, she pretty much is the private investigator who's trying to locate little JJ, and she pretty much has surveillance on everyone in the family for their safety, and for the fact that she can't really tell, you know, her leads, because she doesn't want them to be in danger. So she's doing things her way, and as a matter of fact, she's a boss chick, because she told Baron straight up, excuse me, I work alone, no one tells me what to do, if things are going to be done the way I want them done, you pay me to do a job, I'm going to do it, and one thing, you will respect me. And I was like, okay, Miss Winter Black, I'm here, yes. You know, because she was not afraid of Baron at all. I mean, Baron had a nerve to start snapping at her because he's frustrated, because he's like, I paid you good money, you better find that kid, and you better find him now. She's like, excuse me, first of all, don't you ever disrespect me, because I don't take orders from anyone. No one. And got up and walked out. I'm like, okay, Miss Winter Black, you better come through. I was like, yes. But it's good that they now are working on finding little JJ, because we have been talking about little JJ since season 2, and it's great that now Baron sees that Jabril has not really done anything to find this kid. You know, Baron took it upon himself to find somebody to get the job done. Next, we get a scene with Neil and Derek. We see that, well, we know from a few previous episodes that Neil stabbed Clint, and since then he's been staying at Derek's house. And obviously, him and Derek have been canoodling with each other, which is cool. You know, hey, and you know they're pretty much in bed together, and we saw that, you know, we saw in one of the previous episodes that Neil confessed to Derek that he stabbed Clint, and he pretty much had a breakdown. It's like, why the fuck am I like this? Why the fuck am I like this? But we all saw the fact that that's one of the main things that Neil and Derek got in common. Well, one of the main things. That they both had run-ins with Clint. Clint tried to be overly aggressive with them, and they put his ass down. So Derek decides to confess his involvement with Clint. You know, when he went to the house looking for Fallon and, you know, looking for Rob, and Clint tried to force himself on him, and he shot him. And he's like, wow, this is crazy. We actually have this in common. It's like, yeah. And like Derek pretty much says that, look, Clint has brought so much hell to people's lives here in Easton. Yo, everybody wants Clint dead, because Clint has burnt everybody. So we better hope he's dead, because if that motherfucker ain't dead, oh, trust me, he is going to come back with an even more, you know, crazy ass blueprint out as to how to destroy people. I mean, the shit's crazy. But, you know, they pretty much having that conversation, so pretty much, you know, they're bonding, and we see that they have gotten close since this situation happened where, you know, Neil stabbed Clint. Well, Derek lets him know that he needs him to go home for a few days and that he needs to kind of lay low. And Neil just starts flipping out like, oh, hell no, you ain't put me out so you can bring other niggas up in this motherfucker. I ain't going nowhere. And we see Logan. Logan was in the cage, but Logan was giving that look like, you better not, I will fuck you up. Like, Logan just had that look. And Logan has really pretty blue eyes, or they're gray. But Logan has very beautiful eyes, and Logan was giving that look like, all right now, all right, bipolar, I see you acting up. Don't make me get about this. Like, Logan was giving that stare down like, I will whoop your motherfucking ass. Oh, forgive me, y'all, I'm crazy. But I thought that was cute, but then, and then, like, literally, Derek had to calm Neil down. I mean, to let him know, like, look, it's only for a few days. You can come back soon after that, but right now, you just need to go home for a few days. It's gonna be okay. Then we see, you know, after that, Miss Victoria shows up. And she immediately is like, okay, hey, how you doing? Who the fuck is this? And Neil's like, who the fuck are you? I'm like, oh my God, that was so hilarious. I'm like, damn, just aggressive like shit. I mean, but the thing is, she's an aggressive female, he's an aggressive male. You know, alpha female, alpha male. Boom. And they immediately just kind of got into it and like, you know, but then Derek cleared it up and says, like, look, this is my friend Neil. Neil, this is my mom. And she's like, I told you not to call me that. And he's like, he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. He's like, hey, it's nice to meet you. Yeah, nice to meet you too. All right, go on. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. It's like, he's like, so what's up with the smart-ass friend? And we actually seen in this scene, and it was really done, Melissa and Emery did a good job, and they conveyed a lot of emotion. Like, we're really seeing that Victoria and Derek are finally getting close as mother and son. And she really confesses to him that, look, if you need money, you need protection, anything, I got you. You don't have to worry about anything. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to make sure that you're safe and I'm going to make sure you're good. And she said, as a matter of fact, I got people around here taking photos of every motherfucker that comes to your damn door. So if anything pop off, somebody going to be up in here to fuck some shit up. So you're going to be good. And I'm like, wow, you know. So Derek is starting to get the feel of what it means to be a DeLuca. And he's like, damn, that's some crazy shit, ain't it? And she's like, shit, we DeLucas. This is normal. Are you fucking kidding me? This is how the way it goes down. I don't play. But then, you know, they pretty much, you know, talk even more so, and you know, she talks about, you know, his Uncle Vincent, who's crazy as hell. He's a combination of Victoria and Victor. That's a fucking wicked-ass combination. But he says when he get out, that motherfucker gonna go crazy. I'm gonna have my heat on me 24/7, because I ain't gonna let that motherfucker do nothing. But she pretty much lets Derek know that, look, you know, and then she also talks about her husband, Joe. But her and Joe more have like a business marriage rather than a love marriage, because, you know, love will get you killed. But then she says, but the only thing I love and care and willing to die for and do anything for would be you. And Jesus on a good day. I was like, damn. That was so crazy. But it was like a really good scene. And it was cool because, and then all of a sudden, she kind of clocked it that, you know, that he's stealing somebody. And all of a sudden, you know, he's kind of like giving this look and kind of blushing. She's like, She's like, was it the little smart-ass friend that just left here? And he's like, I'm not saying nothing, but could not stop smiling. I'm like, wow, Emery did a phenomenal job with that. That was crazy. I was laughing my ass off at that scene. Because he just couldn't contain it that, yeah, he does have feelings for Neil. And we're seeing that throughout this whole situation, with all the ups and downs that the two of them have been through, he really does love Neil and wants to be with him. And Victoria clocked it, and she's like, oh, okay, I see you. You can't even contain it. You can't help yourself. Look at you. And I was just laughing. Like, she just kept just kind of like tickling him with it. It was really cute. And it was good to see them interact that way. Next, we get a scene with Brandon and Jabril. Now, this was a meaty scene right here, because they pretty much check in with each other. Brandon is in a good place now. You can definitely tell he's been taking his sobriety seriously, and that he's still going through the motions because he's still in rehab. But then, they both talk about Jarrell because they know about Jarrell being shot, and pretty much, he pretty much, and within this conversation, Jabril begins to say that, look, karma is at my front door. My brother has been shot. The one person who was innocent, who did nothing, is getting shot, and I think I'm being paid back for all the bad shit I've done. So then, Brandon starts talking about, look, one thing I learned in therapy is accountability. I lied, I was doing drugs, and I slept with Alex. I have to own all of this. And Jarrell was like, but that's just it. You didn't sleep with Alex. And he's like, come again? He's like, I confronted Alex. Alex let me know that he drugged you. Y'all did some drugs. You went to sleep. And when he woke up, he lied and said that y'all had sex so he can have a bargaining chip over you. He's narcissistic. He wanted you, and the way in a way that he could get you was by convincing you that you had sex so he can have something over you and keep you, under his thumb. So then he said that, I've done a lot of shit, and I think that right now my brother, who's innocent, is paying for the shit that I've done. So he began to say that the person that I never wanted to be, I have become that person. I let the poison of my family infect me. And then he starts to confess everything. He confesses about setting up Rob. He confesses about that he was going to humiliate him at the wedding, but changed his mind at the last minute when Brandon confessed. He pretty much owned up that he was using Julian as a pawn to get back at Fallon because of the fact that she hit little JJ. But then that plan changed after Julian got shot, in the Doomsday episode of Davenport Diaries. Then he told that Baron burnt the salon. He alluded about the hit on Tessa, but said that, he planned some foul shit against my mother, and then he says that, about Raven being raped, and that, she killed, about her killing Chuck, and that, Fallon, that, him along with Fallon and Baron, they all covered it up. And then he talks about Adonis and Mason. He says, I paid Adonis to come back into Mason's life to fool him, fuck him, finish him. Y'all remember that? Yeah. But what happened is that, Adonis caught feelings, obviously, for Mason, and he ended up committing suicide. And then the worst thing is that I found him after he committed suicide. Instead of me calling the police, I changed the suicide note so that Mason will feel that he was responsible for Adonis killing himself. And then he also confessed that it was him who arranged for Melanie to get that job in South Africa to get her away from Jarrell. But now she's pregnant with Jarrell's child, or so we think. So all of this is being said to Brandon, and we're kind of left. And I have to say, Dominique Smith, you did phenomenal in this scene. Because the look that he was giving, you didn't know whether he was going to punch the shit out of Jabril or was he going to hug him. You didn't know what kind of reaction he was going to get. But he just sat there and he was like, okay. Then all of a sudden after he told everything, Brandon's like, okay, so what do you think I'm going to say to this? I don't know what to say. And Jabril pretty much says that, look, I think we need to get a divorce because of me and you being with me, you were innocent, you were pure, you were good. You were something that I've always wanted, and I ruined you. I let my family ruin you. You know, I'm toxic, and I can't allow you to no longer suffer because of me. So I need for you to get your own life and to be happy. Then Brandon kind of flipped his head and was like, "What? First of all, I know the man I married. I know that you like to keep things to yourself, and I also know that you can get very vindictive when you've been wronged, and you will continue to be vindictive until you feel justified. I know this, but I need for you to understand that I took our vows on our wedding day seriously. It's for better or for worse. So you need to start fighting." And got up and walked away. I'm like, there you go, Brandon. Yes! That's what I'm talking about. Brandon got his power back, and I was so happy that he did. Because now we see that Brandon is more stronger than we thought. That Brandon truly loves him from the root. And Jabril knows it, but Jabril is so overwhelmed with guilt and despair. But then again, he said that, look, you need to start fighting. We need to fight to get back to where we were. We need to fight to get back to bliss. So I thought that was cool. That was great. Next, we see that while, Neil gets sent back home, right? After Derek sent Neil home, guess who the fuck he had over? Motherfucking Sean. And he's still doing that same aggressive, shit-talking crap he was doing before when he raped him the last time. Like, yo, you over here to give me some ass, and, I'm gonna get the ass, and, just give me what the fuck I want. I'm paying you, so don't fucking talk to me. Turn over and let me get that ass. And, like, Sean is just like, yo, why are you coming at me like that? Like, what the fuck? But obviously, Sean liked it because Sean went back. Yeah, because we saw the last time how Neil fucked Sean. He fucked him with no lube and literally just ran into the glory hole without giving praise and worship, and it was not cute. So excuse me. So this time Sean went for his over-aggressive shit. He's like, nigga, you gonna give me this motherfucking ass. I pay you, I call the shots, I get what I want. You gonna give me what I want, and I want this ass, and this is what I'm gonna get. Sean's like, look, you hurt me the last time, and that shit ain't going down again. So if you ain't got no lube, I'm getting the fuck up out of here, and I'm rolling. You ain't going, like, look, you just can't be, tearing the frame out my ass. That shit ain't gonna help you with your problems. And then we begin to see, like, man, and then all of a sudden we see that Neil is still going through his crazy ass state where he's like, what the fuck, man? What? And then he just like, and all of a sudden Sean is like, what's wrong? I have to say, DeMarcus, that was cute how you delivered that line. That was funny because you're like, what's wrong? I thought that was so cute, and it was cool because all of a sudden we see the next thing Neil starts to calm down, and he says that have you ever loved somebody that even when you're away from them, like it just drives you crazy, like you just can't be without this person? And he's like, yeah, I've loved like that once, but he's like, but then he opens up and says that, look, I'm afraid because I never loved anybody like I loved Derek, but it's like I'm always afraid that I'm gonna lose him. I'm always afraid that he's gonna leave. And Sean is like, but if it's real love, they always come back. I know I always do. So we know that Sean is thinking of Kiko. So we actually see that the both of them have something in common. They both are in love with someone, but yet there's that thing that's like in a way that but we already know why Sean's situation fucked up, so as of right now, him and Kiko, that's a no-go. Maybe down the line, maybe, but not right now. So, but as far as Neil and Derek, you know, as of right now, you know, Derek is trying to take his time, but we saw when he was with Victoria that he's really into Neil. Neil wants him too, but Neil wants him to be around 24/7, like, and then it's like, the thing is, he's using Derek as a dependency instead of actually being able to stand on his own and be okay. And we definitely see that. And then, like, you know, all of a sudden, you know, Sean opens up saying that, you know, I wasn't supposed to even be doing this shit. You know, a year ago I was a barber, I had my girl, and everything was good. So he's like, oh, you cut hair? Yeah. And he's like, oh, you cut hair? He's like, yeah, I cut hair. You know, I can fucking take care of you. He's like, yeah, I might actually get you to hook me up. And, you know, and he says that, yeah, you can get you a haircut and you can get some ass, but you know it's going to cost you extra. And he's like, yeah, I got you. And he says that, look, we can kind of make this like a permanent thing between me and you. We can kind of have like this little arrangement. But then Sean is like, yo, didn't you just say you in love with your dude and everything? And he's like, man, fuck that. He ain't here right now. Like, you know, I'm tired of him always not being here when I want him to be here and all this shit. And I'm just like, yo, Neil really got a serious problem. I mean, it goes far beyond bipolar. I mean, it's to the point where, you know, him buying hoes is like a drug for him. And it's like he has this intense sex drive. And, you know, it's just like it just went to a totally different direction. So next thing you know, him and Sean and Neil start making out. And then the next thing you know, it's red light special. And I will fucking put it out there that after they had sex, and, you know, I mean, Sean was bouncing on that like a pogo stick. I mean, she was loving it. You know, it's like this time it was passionate, whereas the first time it was brutal. This time was passion because all of a sudden you see that Sean is looking into his eyes, they looking at each other, and like Neil is like, yeah, take that shit. And then the next thing you know, after, you know, they have released themselves, they are looking dead into each other's eyes, and I'm like, oh shit, they're gonna start developing some feelings for one another, and that is going to create a triangle involving Derek, because he don't want to let Derek go, but then again, he still has this other side, you know, that right now is still somewhat unbeknownst to Derek. Alright. Then we see Mason and Jesus. Mason is overwhelmed with guilt because he knows about that Jarrell got shot, and he's mad at Jesus. Like, how the hell did your damn hitman shoot the wrong person? What kind of shit is that? He's like, look, you know, normally they are sharp, but hey, it was a mistake. But then again, you got what you wanted. You got back at Jabril, because now Jabril is grieving off of the fact that his brother may die. So in a way, you did assassinate Jabril. And then Mason's like, are you kidding me? You know, I told you to call it off. I told you to stop it. He's like, dude, this ain't ordering no damn pizza. This is the mob. You know exactly how we run, and you know exactly how we do things. There was money that was transferred. There was an actual transaction to get this hit. And if I would have tried to stop it, they would have killed my ass. That's how they play. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just so excited about this shit. Forgive me. But he's like, look, once you call a hit, it's done. So the hit's out. It is what it is. And the funny thing about it, you the main one who said you hated the mob and the organization. I mean, isn't that the reason why you broke up with me? But then you had the nerve to say that if you love me, I will do this hit for you. And I did. But obviously, it seems that no matter what the fuck I do, I will never be good enough for you. And he says that, look, I'm done being at your beck and call. What's done is done. Deal with it. And then we see Mason with Melanie. Then we get seeing Mason and Melanie. Melanie is like really distraught, and over the fact that Jabril, over the fact that Jarrell got shot, and she's also mad because Corinne won't give her any information, and she's like shutting her out. So Corinne is just taking her damn grief and her madness out on every damn body. So Mason pretty much says that, look, maybe we should go back home to Boston for a while. And, she first was not now all about leaving because she doesn't want to leave, but she says that, look, right now you're pregnant, you're under a lot of stress, we need to get away for a while so you can be at peace and you can actually take care of the baby. So she agrees, and, she pretty much says that, look, I'm not going to deal with mom's bullshit. I'm not going to deal with her trying to control everything. And he's like, look, I'll talk to mom. I got you. So they pretty much decide to go past, and they're going to work that, and they're going to go to Boston. But then after she went upstairs, we see that Mason is overwhelmed with guilt. Because we know at the end of the day, Mason is a good person, but Mason was driven to madness, and in the moment of madness, he did the unthinkable. Also, we see that Fallon and Jabril meet up. They pretty much, they talk about Jarrell. They talk about Julian, and he also talks about Brandon being in rehab and all of that. And he asked, and then he actually asked Fallon, "Where's Julian?" And she's like, "Oh, baby brother, Julian is a place where your father would not find him." And I was like, ooh. Also, we see Ashton / Ulysses and Christian. Christian is getting fed up because Ulysses is not getting back his memory. Ulysses doesn't want to leave the house. He wanted to go to the gym and wanted Ulysses to go with him. Ulysses didn't want to go. So they pretty much get into this big argument. He's like, look, I'm trying to help you to get back your memory. He's like, well, that's just it. I don't want you to help me get back my memory. I want to get back my memory, and I have to do it alone. I have to know who I am. I can't base it off of what other people telling me, because that happened with Clint, and, I'm not trying to go through that no more, where someone else is telling me who I am. I need to know who I am, and I don't know who I am. So he's just like, so Christian is just like moody, because really Christian wants some ass. I mean, Christian, poor thing, has been backed up this whole season, and he is just looking for an itch to scratch. I mean, because you saw him try to come on to Derek, and then you saw him do the same move to Ulysses, and he pretty much just got, oh, no, no, no. So everybody just been turning Christian down, and Christian is ready to play ball. So we see that going on with that. We also see that Derek and Jabril meet, and Jabril lets Derek know that, look, what happened the other night can't ever happen again. It was, not serious. I was just so mad about what was going on with Brandon. And then then Derek said, quick with a flash, yeah, so you decided to take advantage of me and use me. And he says, as I told you before, I'm not the same naive little boy that you messed with before. I've grown. And as a matter of fact, I knew exactly why you came over. I knew exactly why we did what we did, and I allowed it because it gave me closure, and it lets me know that you no longer have any power over me. So, I'm pretty much going to put myself in a place where I no longer have any toxic feelings about you. But then that damn Jabril started going in. It's like, oh, you talking about toxic? Well, maybe you need to stay away from Neil, because trust me, he's a toxic combination that I don't think you can deal with. And then Derek and Neil was like, well, first of all, who I deal with is none of your business. Focus on your marriage. Have a good day, Jabril. I was like, oh shit. So we've seen that. Derek, took his power back from Jabril, and pretty much said that, look, I'm not with this shit anymore. I'm moving on. Next, we see that finally Neil is back at Derek's house, Derek finally lets him know that he wants to be with him and that he wants them to be. He wants them to work on building a relationship. But he says that, look, you need to take your meds and you need to be reliable. I need to be able to rely on you. You know, and next thing you know, once they kissed, we see that Neil opens his eyes because he knew that he just straight fucking lied to Derek, because he was up in Sean's ass and the both of them had a connection. I caught that. So, excuse me, y'all. I caught that shit. So, all of a sudden, yeah, it's just like, what the fuck? You know, and it's like Neil has this really jealous streak, but yet, dude, you the one doing the messy shit though, which is crazy. It's a part of his psyche, and I'm starting to see that. But yo, shout out to Julius Moody. Like, he has been doing a fantastic job, you know, executing this role of Neil. Like, Neil is a character that has grown on all of us, and I'm loving seeing his growth as an actor. Like, he really is playing this bipolar role. Like, it's to the point that I'm like, damn, I need a damn sedative just watching his ass. Like, straight up. But yeah, but that was a good scene. So we definitely know that's going to be something that's going to play out, you know, in I think Dark Horse season 2, because all three of them are going to be on Dark Horse season 2, and also probably in season 4. So I will definitely be stay tuned to see what's going to happen next with that one. Next, we actually get a scene with Christian and Fallon. They sitting down, catching up or whatever. You know, he opens up about his situation with Ulysses and that it's getting kind of frustrating or whatever. And you know, I really want him to get his memory back, but it's like everything I'm doing is just not working. We're just not seeing eye to eye right now. But she's like, you got to give him time. He has amnesia. But if he's anything different than Ashton, then I'm all for it. And then she starts talking about, so pretty much she pretty much, you know, tells him about, and then she also lets him know that, you know, Brandon, Jabril's husband's in rehab, so he's at that house all by himself. And she's like, okay. And she's like, oh, you don't want to go over there to Jabril, really? And he's like, look, you know, the thing that's worse than hate is indifference, and right now there's nothing but indifference with me and Jabril, and it is what it is. I'm not going over there. And then she starts to open up about, you know, he said that, look, the reason why I called you over was because I wanted to talk to you, because I noticed the last time I saw you, you seemed pretty down. You know, what was going on? And she opens up that she hurt her best friend. We all know she's talking about Winston and what she did by getting Clint to break up him and Ashton. And she says that I don't think me and him are ever going to recover from this, because I hurt him deep. I've hurt him very deep. And you see that she's pretty much, you know, she really feels bad she really feels bad for what she did. And then, but then she also said that, she also mentions that, let's see, Then she really drops the bomb, and she says that I may not really be a Davenport. All of a sudden, she pretty much opens up, and Christian does what Christian does. He nurtured her, pretty much told her that, look, you are Fallon Elizabeth Davenport. You've always been that, and no matter what happens, you can't let nobody take that away from you. And as far as your issues with your mom, and I know you are mad as hell at her, you gotta forgive her, because I'm sure she had her reasons why she did what she did. So then all of a sudden she's like, oh, Christian, you know the right things to say. First they start hugging, the next thing you know, we see Christian starts kissing her. Next thing you know, they locking lips and they giving each other tongue and everything. And then all of a sudden they kind of pulled away, and then all of a sudden Christian's like, come on. Took her upstairs, she spilled water on the way, and they were getting it in. And I was shocked, like, what the fuck is this? Ooh, and Christian wasn't no amateur either. He was throwing it on Valid. I mean, he was giving her, like, he was definitely giving her how Stella got a groove back type sex. Like, he was giving it to her. And then they fell asleep. Then we see Ulysses comes back, turns on the light. He sees that that Christian and Fallon are in bed together, asleep. So he turns off the light. He pretty much walks into the living room, and he slips in the water that Fallon spilled. And the next thing you know, images start flying. Images of him and Fallon, him and Victor, him and Clint, him and Derek. Just all of these images just rolling, just started coming out. And then the next thing you know, he sat up and he's like, I guess I am Ashton. So Clint pulled one over Fallon's motherfucking head, and when she finds this out, it's gonna be fucking crazy. So yeah, Ashton is still alive. So this whole Ulysses thing, Ulysses probably is the one that's dead. And that's just my hypothesis. I could be completely wrong. But then we get the scene where Jabril is in this padded room, and he has somebody in there, and he's like talking because he says he got some stuff to get off his chest. Everybody's fucking with him, and he pretty much needs somebody to talk to. So he is like, get up! And then the next thing you know, we see that it's Alex. Because remember, after he, took everything from Alex and told Alex to leave, he called his boy and told him that don't let him leave the building. Pull his ass, get his ass, and we'll deal with him later. And we see Jabril has been beating Alex's motherfucking ass. He was whooping his ass. And, Jabril, so pretty much immediately, Alex was like, oh, you here to beat me some more? And he's like, oh no, actually, I'm just still thinking, of what to do next because I'm done with you. And he was like, look, just let me leave Easton. I promise I won't tell anybody anything. He's like, really? You think I'm afraid if you tell somebody, motherfucker? You think they're going to believe a con artist, a person who's wanted in many states? Do you think they're going to believe an asshole like you? Huh. So, but he's like, look, I'll leave. He's like, oh yeah, you're going, but you're going to go where I'm telling you you're going. So I'm about to bring somebody in here. They're about to come and take you away or whatever. He's like, Jabril, no. He's like, look, I said I'm done with you for now. So right now, I'm just going to keep you, and we're going to move you to another location. So this is it. This is the benediction. I'll see you at the next spot. And then we see that Alex flips out and starts crying his eyes out and shit, screaming to the top of his lungs. And I'm like, wow, see, that's what happens when you fuck with people. You fuck with the wrong person, this person's going to continue to fuck with you till they get it out their system. He's still mad, and he has not let it go, so now he's torturing the shit out of Alex. But yo, shout out to Jimmy Yim. You gave an amazing performance. Like, you really, really showed how broken and how destroyed Alex is. And I can't wait to see what happens next. So again, a great season. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I know it's a lot, but hey, this was a big episode and I didn't want to miss anything. But yeah, feel free to put things down in the comments. I love to talk to you guys, Definitely, I have no problem, with you guys, hit me up on my platform. I really appreciate the love and connection that I have with all of you. I really enjoyed this season. And I will be, looking into the other shows too, and and I possibly will be reviewing those as well. So, again, you know, thank you guys for a great season. You did an excellent job, and I look forward to even more what you guys do. So subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with the next episode, with the next, I'll be back with season 4 of Triangle, and I also will be looking into the other shows and will definitely be reviewing them. So until then, everybody, take care.